Okay, so it's a little late. I've been taking my nap today. So basically, when I don't take my nap, things go bad. So this Friday, December the 2nd, 2016, me, TstreeT Controversy, TstreeT Controversy Live, myself personally will be attending a boxing event in Philadelphia. It's Tevin Farmer versus Dardan Zenunaj. I gotta be honest. Now, I've been binge watching Tevin Farmer fights. I've watched one fight of this guy. The footage that's available to me is not very good. But we have to learn how to pronounce his name, because if I'm going to interview him, and I gotta interview him. I need to know how to pronounce his name, because it's always awkward when you interview somebody and you say their name wrong, and then they say no, it's such and such. You know, you feel stupid. But basically, Tevin Farmer is good. Now, what I've noticed by doing a little survey on social media, people say, "Oh, he can't be that good since he lost 4 fights. He has 1 draw, and he's been stopped twice." Well, those fights were very early in his career, like at the beginning of his career. For example, he lost his first fight to a guy by the name of Oscar Santana. I'm going to ask him, well, what happened with that fight? He lost a fight to Josh Bowles. I'm going to ask him, well, what happened with that fight? Camille Lazak, that's an 8-rounder, unanimous decision. I'm going to ask him, well, what happened with that fight? Then the last loss, the most notable loss of his career, was against Jose Pedraza. And that was a TKO in the 8th round. So, if you don't know, Jose Pedraza is the IBF 130-pound champion. He's taken on Mayweather Promotions' Gervonta Davis, who is also very good, on an undercard of Battle Jack, WBC 168-pound champion, versus James DeGale, 168-pound IBF champion. I'm going to be at that fight. It's going to be It's going to be in the Barclays Center, January the 14th, 2017. So basically, since by default, I guess, I'm the #1 boxing media member in Philly. So since I'm starting a website, FightView360.com, it's starting soon. Just give me a little bit of time. I'm taking care of a few things. The website is actually done. It's just that to do it the right way, I have to dedicate my life to it. So I need a couple of more weeks to take care of some things. So basically, I'm about to pack in for the winter and just do the website. And it's my duty to go to all of the Philadelphia, Atlantic City, Bethlehem, PA, even as far as, Delaware, the DC Armory. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go to all of those, but it's my duty in 2017 to go to at least 70%, right? Since they're like kind of localish. But as I told you, I have no real interest in going to fights. It's just that for the business, it's got to be done. So I would rather send people to fights than to go myself, if that makes sense. But when it comes to certain Philly fights, they're not televised on national television or on any cable networks. So therefore, I have to pay, $14.99 for GFL, or wait for the replay to come on the Comcast network or Comcast Sportsnet. But long story short is Tevin Farmer is good. The issue I have with him is that, how many knockouts does he have? 5 KOs. He's 23-4-1 with 5 KOs. Now, in the 130-pound division, I'm wondering if he would be able to deal with somebody like Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz throws a lot of punches. Tevin Farmer can be considered a somewhat of a defensive high IQ boxer, fighter, not pressure fighter or power puncher. He's good, but I'm wondering, how does he react to someone who throws more punches than him? How does he win a fight if he doesn't have the power or have not displayed the power? As far as his record is concerned, we can only go by his record to keep fighters off of him. So the question I'm asking is, if he's a very good boxer, but in order to fight somebody, and I'm using a guy like Leo Santa Cruz, or let me see, even maybe a Yurkis Gamboa, a Vasil Lomachenko. He sparred with Vasil Lomachenko. Jason Sosa, I'm wondering, or even Orlando Rizo. I'm wondering if he has that next level to pick up his punch output and not do as much movement to keep up with the guy who may outpunch him. Because if you got a guy who's going to throw 700, let's say 600 to 1,000 punches a fight, Tevin Farmer is considered to be a smooth, slick southpaw Floyd Mayweather-ish. I'm not comparing him to Floyd. Don't put words in my mouth. But you can tell he studied a lot of Floyd Mayweather. But he's a southpaw. But with his style, his punch output is low. So it makes me wonder, how would he do against a pressure fighter power puncher? You see what I'm saying? So his best fight on paper was against Ivan Redkach. But now, after this fight against Dardan Zenunaj, I'm going to learn how to pronounce his name correctly before I get to the fight. Trust me. But it makes me wonder, after this, he's on his way to the world title path now. He may have maybe 1-2 fights at most, and then that third fight in 2017 has got to be a title fight, and it's most likely going to be a title fight. So it makes me wonder, what title is he going after? And when it comes to the top of the 130-pound division, I want to know how well he did against Vasil Lomachenko in that ring. He's the WBO. You have Abner Maris and Jesus Cuellar. That's the WBA world. You have Leo Santa Cruz and no, that's 126. Leo Santa Cruz and all that. We're talking about 130. You have a local guy from Camden, Jason Sosa, who's the WBA champion at 130 pounds. Him and Tevin Farmer are promoted by the same promotional company, Pelts Boxing. So that would be a good fight to hopefully maybe stage in Philly. I'm still learning about what's the issue where we can't get big fights in Philly, really. Is it a tax issue? I'm still learning that part, but that's a fight that can be made. WBC is Francisco Vargas, but Vasil Lomachenko says he wants him. You got Orlando Rizo, who also wants Vasil Lomachenko. Vasil Lomachenko wants him. You got Jezreel Corrales, but if you take on him, you might as well take on Jason Sosa because it's still a WBA belt. So it's so many questions, that remain, and also what's going to happen with Jose Pedraza and Gervonta Davis. Those guys have been going at it on social media for a little, while now, going hard at it about listen, Tevin Farmer asking Davis just spar with me, So, we're just going to have to see. But I'm going to be at the fight. Hopefully, I'll be able to ask him these questions. And I was at a media workout. This is when I was really sick. I shouldn't have been there anyway, long story short. But I was at a media workout for this. And, my poster. And I wanted to interview everybody else first and then get to Tevin Farmer last. And then he bounced. So I'll be able to get to him this time. I am TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. I need help. This is not going to be, it's going to be worth your while. I need help covering boxing. So if you want to go to fights, get a little money in your pocket. Of course, you got to work. Email me at editor@fightview360.com. That's EDITOR @fightview360.com. And don't email me unprofessionally. Make sure you tell me your name, your location, a little bit about yourself. Please subscribe.